Hello and welcome to this week's team call. I believe, let me see, it's the 12th of May, so I'm pre-recording for next Monday's call. Welcome. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and thank you for joining us tonight or whenever you're listening to this call. My topic that was assigned to me is when to plan for next month. And I thought that's a very interesting topic. And one quote came to mind, and I'm going to start the call off with the quote. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Or you might have heard it, fail to plan, you will plan to fail. And actually this famous quote comes from Benjamin Franklin. And he was known for saying this, by failure to prepare, you're preparing to fail. Is it true that if you do not set goals beforehand or plan ahead in life or plan ahead in your doTERRA business, you cannot really succeed? Success only comes to those with determination who set concrete goals in life and in this doTERRA business. Successful people have short-term, medium, and long-term goals. Now, I just came back from Prague from a leadership retreat. And there we were challenged to write out a 12-month business plan. And I have to admit, it was difficult to do. But once I figured it out and I wrote it out, then my 3-month, my 90-day plan became more doable. And from there, I'm looking at my monthly plans, and now it makes a whole lot more sense. So tonight or today, I want to encourage you to start planning ahead. Since long-term goals are the most difficult to achieve, people come up with the short-term goals, which will slowly but surely help you to move in the right direction. This way, you're going to stay organized and everything is well planned out. And with so much preparation, one does not lose focus of his goals and objectives even when the going gets tough. And sometimes in this business, sorry to say, going gets tough. And I just want you to, if you're not brand new in the business, if you have been a little while, then you know the end of the month sometimes can turn into a total frenzy. End of the month chaos. You're working super hard, you're throwing out BOGOs, you're adding another class in because one was canceled, you're doing a few more one-on-ones. You want to meet your goals, and I get it. I've been there, done that many times. And when it's all said and done, maybe you stayed up late that last night to get a few more orders in, then you're utterly exhausted and you take a few days off. Maybe 2, maybe 3. And on the 4th day, you start planning for the month, maybe the 5th day. By the time you get to talk to your upline about the upcoming month, a week has gone by. Then we work the business on week 2 and 3. Week 4, we're going back into this trap, end of the month frenzy. We want to hit our goals, and then we start all over again. So with today's call, I just want to introduce 3 strategies to you that will help you plan effectively for every single month. And this is nothing new. We have all these resources available to us, and I had them available to myself too, but was I always faithful in implementing them and using them? So maybe you're just as guilty as I am and you haven't done it yet, but I encourage you to do it because I surely will be implementing it for me and my team. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is builder worksheets, using them. The second one is our weekly strategy worksheets, really putting them to use as well. And the third thing is utilizing your weekly success schedule. So this all may sound really boring, but I can guarantee you this could be a life changer and a game changer for our business, and taking that end of the month stress and frenzy out of the equation, or maybe occasionally having them when we're trying to hit a new goal or we're going to hit a new rank, then it's acceptable. But on an ongoing basis, I feel like if we planned ahead accordingly, we could maybe avoid some of those stressors. So let's go to point number 1, the builder worksheets. If you're new to this business and you are committing to building to elite in 6 weeks, and that is the name of our program, not to scare you away, you do not have to be elite in 6 weeks. Now, some of us, we get to elite in 2 or 3 weeks. And some of us, it might take us 3 to 4 months. So as long as you're building towards elite, or sometimes it means failing forward towards elite, and you're staying committed to reaching that rank of elite, it makes sense to fill out your Elite Builder worksheet. I'll make sure I will upload all this, or it's probably already in the files in Elevate, but I'll make sure everything I'm talking about tonight is there for you. This is what it looks like, and all of you, you've probably seen it before. Now I just want us to not look at it, but really fill it out. And it has 4 simple steps to follow, and I'm just briefly going to review it for you. If you are already having customers in your organization with monthly loyalty reward point orders, you just simply add the volume of the orders up, and you're going to enter them in a box. And sometimes we have to do a little guessing and estimating because we're not sure all the way. And the remaining volume just gets divided into the number 500. So that means whatever number is left, let's say there's 2,000 PV left and we're divided by 500. That means I have to teach a minimum of 4 classes. Average class generates about 500 PV to reach my goal. But that would be barely reaching your goal and not taking into account that maybe a class gets canceled, or maybe a class has just 1 participant, and then another class might be doing super well. So I would always build in a little buffer. And the second point is identifying all your builders and sharers that will work with you to hold these classes. It doesn't mean you have to hold them all yourself. Hopefully you have a new builder in your team that's also launching with 4 classes, and those could also count towards your volume. And then you just simply schedule in the number of classes, fill in the dates and the times and the hosts and who is presenting at those classes. And the 4th step is just simply setting some incentives for each builder or sharer that will motivate them to reach their goals. And having this builder worksheet ready, now here comes the point, having it ready the 3rd Friday of the month, so we can share it with your upline and you're planning for success for the following month. So that might be new to you. If you're building towards Premier, then of course you're using the Premier Builder worksheet and so on. Pretty simple, but not easy to do. I get it. Sometimes we just skip that step. Now the second strategy I would like for us to look at is using the weekly strategy worksheets. And there's one for upline use and there's one for downline use. And this is what I'm starting to implement with my teams, and I'm also going to implement it for me with my call with my upline with either Jenni or Nathan. So if I'm the downline here, I'm going to use the step 1. I'm preparing for my strategy session, because think about it, they're committing their valuable time to me, 30 minutes, maybe 45, sometimes an hour of mentoring and strategizing. And I want to treat that time with respect. And I want to be as prepared as possible. Have I always done that? No. But there's room for improvement, and now I want to just do it better. I'm going to fill out my builder worksheet. And if it's already filled out, I'm going to review it. Then I'm going to review my goals, my priorities, my action items from last week. And then I'm going to review the builder worksheet with my upline. Now, there are certain things to review. How about who is hosting, teaching my classes? How many classes need to be set up on each qualifying team? Have you chosen your incentive promotions? Where can the upline leader come in and help? And step 4 is just identifying a couple of priorities that you would like to talk about with your upline. Perhaps you're realizing I'm really struggling with recruiting. And then giving this information to your upline on Friday before the upcoming call on Monday. Your upline has time to prepare and think through how she or he is going to help you be better at recruiting. Or perhaps you're struggling with your closing rate at your classes. You're realizing that your closing rate is fairly low. Maybe you can review how that could be done better. So your upline doesn't necessarily know what you're struggling with. It is your responsibility to communicate that with your upline. Okay. Now for the downline use, the upline use. So if I'm the upline, I'm preparing just the same way. I'm looking forward to getting my downlines sheet so I know what to prepare for. But if I'm having the call with my downline, first of all, I want to reconnect with them and ask a few questions. How are you doing? How is the family? How was your weekend? just to set the tone and connect first before we go into strategizing and mentoring. What was the best thing that happened with your business this week? What was the most frustrating thing that happened with your business this week? And then it kind of follows the same principles. There's 4 steps, and it's pretty simple, but it's not easy to implement. I would like to challenge you to implement them and see how it's working out for you. Okay? And the third thing I want to talk to you about is using your weekly success schedule. All right? Leaders often wonder, what should I do to succeed? We want you and your leaders to have a clear path to success, to move in the same direction with the same goal. Now, successful wellness advocates follow a specific schedule, week after week, month after month, and year after year. And there's 6 crucial activities for success. The first thing is to sample, sample, and sample. We learned that in Prague. Do not invite anybody to your classes unless they have been sampled and they had a good experience with the oils. So sometimes it means multiple samples need to be provided before we invite them to class. And we want to try and do the best to our abilities to only invite people to our classes that have been sampled. And you're going to teach oil classes. We are in this business to teach classes and do one-on-ones. So we need to be successful at this. This is the bread and butter of our business. Then there's some basic business training that needs to happen. We need to let people know about the business and how to get started and what to do. Third point, we're doing continuing ed classes. Some of us were doing them online, but they would be more successful to start offering them in a live way. There's a team call like this one tonight. Put it on your calendar to listen to it every week. If you can't do the Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time for me, then just put it on your calendar for Tuesday morning to do. Because once Tuesday has gone by and I didn't do it, then it's probably not going to happen the rest of the week, to be honest. Okay. Then we want to have our strategy sessions with our key leaders. We can't be successful without these sessions. So those are our income producing activities. And the last step, number 6, contacting and follow-up. Lots and lots of contacting and follow-up. Or we wouldn't have anybody to talk to, right? About the business. Nobody gets educated. Nobody comes on the team call. No strategy sessions, no oil classes, unless we're doing the contacting and following up. So those are 6 simple steps. And only if you are good about implementing those 6 crucial activities first, if you have extra time, do other income producing activities. Oftentimes we get sidetracked with managing our business, sorting things out, researching things, and creating social media posts and all that, and we're missing out on doing the 6 crucial activities for success. And filling out that weekly success sheet means you're blocking out the time that you are already committed elsewhere. You have commitments for church, for example, family commitments, kids' schedules, other events, classes you teach, things you do. So block all these times out on your schedule and then start scheduling in your weekly classes, scheduling in your wellness consults, scheduling in your contacting, your follow-up, and your continuing education. And only if we have those 3 things in place, you build a worksheets, your weekly strategy worksheets, your weekly success schedule, I truly believe we can plan to be successful and avoid the end of the month craziness, and we're truly planning for success. So I hope these 3 strategies were helpful for you tonight, and I can't wait to hear how you're doing with that. Thank you.